Hi everybody, it's me, Reedy. Welcome to episode 32 of the Beat the First Man podcast. What have we got lined up for you this week? Well, How Old takes a trip to Italy. Your Name Shit, or Is It Great? Is back and heads to Indonesia. Ted stops in England with his little knob of the week. Tales of the Unexpected goes to Cameroon. And zooming in, heads on up to the Spirit in the Sky with the Doctor from Doctor and the Medics. So what on earth are we waiting for? Get them footballs on fire. So here we are then, another week of the show that brings you a little bit of everything. This week we bring you a man on Zooming In who had #1 hit in the pop charts in 1986. We have no less than the Doctor from Doctor and the Medics. That's coming up later on in the show. A very entertaining and very positive talk, so make sure you hang around for that. To all of you who continue to watch and support the show, thank you so much, always appreciated. If you're new to the show, you like what you see, please click the subscribe down the bottom. If you are new to the show, you'll realise that every week I never ever line my finger up properly with the camera, but if you could do that, that'd be great. Comment below, let me know your thoughts, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. It's all good, it's all about interaction and having a bit of fun at the end of the day. So let's head to Italy for the game that we all love, How Old? And this time it's a man who had a tremendous career for club and country. He was a one-man club. He played for Inter Milan, made 519 appearances for Inter Milan, and also made 81 appearances for his country. A renowned hard man. He put the Frighteners up a lot of attackers, asked Diego Maradona, and that's all very nice and that's all very admirable, and we love the fact that he's had a good career. But let's be honest, all we want to know is when this photo of Giuseppe Bergomi was taken. How old was he? Simple. So stick around to the end of the show, we'll reveal how old Giuseppe Bergomi was when that picture was taken. So, we didn't have one last week, but it's back. So let's time for another segment of Your Name Shit, or Is It Great? Yes, where we go around the footballing world and we hunt you brilliantly named football teams. This feature so far has brought you Deportivo Moron. It's brought the Strongest FC. So this week we head to Indonesia, and quite a young football club. They were only founded in 1980, nicknamed the Red Buffaloes. They currently play in Liga 2 of the Indonesian League. I have to check my notes. If you're new to the show, I can't remember any of this. I'm getting too old to remember stuff. They're actually owned by a cement company who have the same name. So the cement company and the football team both share the same name. So what is that name, I hear you ask? What's that name, Rudy? Well, that name, my friends, is Semen Padang FC. There's the badge to prove it. Semen Padang. Yes, you heard it correctly. And the cement company is the same name. So, quite simply, Semen Padang, your name's shit. Or is it great? There we go. So, the little star of the show has arrived, all dressed up. This is Ted. Hi Ted, how we doing, my friend? My arm hurts. Oh, why does your arm hurt, Ted? I had the COVID vaccine jab this week. Ted, I'm not being funny. You are not in the over 50s bracket. You're well under 50. You're just a young teddy bear. That surely you're not in the age group to start having the vaccine. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. Again, all very admirable, but who do you know that can get you a jab? It's amazing what these teddy bear eyelashes can do when a young nurse sees them. Okay, that's lovely, Ted. So, the real reason you're here anyway, never mind that. When's the doctor on? He can take a look at my arm. Ted said, no. He's not a real doctor. He's a singer in a band. They're called Doctor and the Medics. He is the doctor. Well, that's a sham. He's lying if he's not a real doctor. Well, he might be like a doctor of music or a doctor of 80s music or something, but he's not an actual, medical doctor. But my arm hurts. I know your arm hurts. You did mention it. Anyway, crack on. You're here to do Little Knob of the Week. Who's got it this week? Can we again just make it clear? It's not me that has a little knob, it's the award. Yes, you make it clear quite regularly. So if you are new, this is Ted's little knob of the week, handed out to someone in football who deserves it for the previous week or so. So who's got it this week? It's an England international player. Oh, you're burning big this week then. So what has an England international player done to deserve your ire and deserve the little trophy? Well, to be honest, I'm surprised he's actually going to catch this trophy, because he didn't usually catch anything when he played. It's a goalkeeper, Ted, yeah? Brilliant, Reedy. You're a great detective. Yeah, okay, thank you. So who is it then, Ted? Joe Hart. Instagram? Yeah, idiot. Okay, harsh but fair. So let's go back to last week. So just missed last week's show because the filming and everything had been done. So Joe Hart last week. So Tottenham were away at Dynamo Zagreb, and they were 2-0 up from the first leg, as you know. They went very Spursy in the second leg and somehow managed to throw it away, losing 3-2. But Joe Hart, he clearly didn't see that was a problem, because he posted this Instagram post, which clearly shows job done. So, clearly a mistake by young Joe, but did Joe stand up, hold himself accountable for it? No. Who did Joe blame? His social media team. I know. I don't. Why has he got a social media team? So Joe Hart, Tottenham's third choice goalkeeper, has a social media team. So I did a little bit more digging to see what this social media team doing. So in the last month, so we've had 31 days. In the last 31 days, Joe Hart's social media team have posted 7 Instagram photos. Yes, you heard me correct, 7. So he is paying somebody to be his social media team who have done 7 Instagram posts. That is the sort of job I'm looking for. Me too, it's easier than this job. You're not wrong. So Joe Hart, deservedly, you are this week's Little Knob of the Week award. And maybe before you click post, just have a little look at what you've done on your Instagram. Right, Ted, we'll see you later then for how old the results. Yep, and I've got this week's, definitely, easy. Okay, let's see, been wrong every other week. Anyway, I think it's probably time we have another week of this. Yep, Tales of the Unexpected. And this week we head to Cameroon, who are selecting their squad for the forthcoming African Cup of Nations matches against, again, checks notes, Cape Verde and Rwanda. And they made the decision they were going to call a Bayern Munich striker, Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. Let's just take a little minute to think about Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. This is a man who struggled at Stoke, did nothing at Stoke, somehow blagged himself a move to Paris Saint-Germain, played in the Champions League final, semi-finals, somehow blagged another move to Bayern Munich. How is he doing it? What has Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting got on the big clubs in Europe? He clearly has something, because he's getting himself these moves. Credit to you, my friend. I wish I knew what it was. You should bottle it and sell it. Anyway, reverting back to his call up for Cameroon. So they decided they were going to give him a call up, and having decided to do so, the Cameroon FA were a little bit disappointed that they didn't hear back from Eric, having sent him the email calling him up to the squad. So they decided to chase Bayern Munich up and find out what was going on, why they'd not responded. Turns out the Cameroon FA sent it to the wrong email address. So poor old Eric, thinking surely I've done enough to get an international call up this time, was let down by the Cameroon FA, sending it to the wrong email address. Now there are media outlets out there who are reporting it that they sent it to themselves rather than sending it to Bayern Munich or Eric himself. I've got nothing to back that up, so for legal purposes I don't know where they sent it, but it's clearly not gone to Eric or Bayern Munich. And by the time the whole thing had been resolved, it was too late, and he's missed the call up, and he's not playing international football this weekend. So absolutely brilliant. So next time you're in your email inbox, and these emails you get from guys reporting to be African princes who've left you a lot of money in the will, just double check and see if you've got one from the Cameroon FA. Maybe you could forward it on to Bayern Munich for young Eric, poor lad. So anyway, drum roll time. Okay, desk roll. I haven't got a drum. This week on Zooming In, I had a chat with a man who, along with his band, had a #1 hit in the charts back in 1986. The man himself, the Doctor no less, from Doctor and the Medics. They of course, Spirit in the Sky fame. For those of you under the age of 20 or 30 maybe, pushing it at 30 you should know, but if you're under the age of 20, hang around to the end of the chat. You'll know what the song is as soon as you hear it. It's been made famous as well by a certain group of football fans changing the words and singing their song to it, which we do mention in the chat. It was a great laugh. He was a top man and one of the most down-to-earth people you could ever wish to meet. So sit back, drink your coffee. There will be a little bit of Doctor and Medics at the end, and I'll see you on the other side of Zooming In. Free. So today on Zooming In, I'm delighted to say I am joined by the man who was the front man of a band who had a #1 hit back in the 1980s. It is the Doctor himself from Doctor and the Medics. Doctor, how are we?
Oh, hello there. Yeah, I'm very good. And this is obviously a first. I mean, normally when people tune into football podcasts, probably the last person they expect to see me is me. However, I did one the other day for a business motivational kind of thing. So lockdown is over. Lockdown's been going on too long when football podcasts are getting guests like me on. However, am I allowed to have a beer as it's football?
Yeah,
am I allowed
fill your boots.
Cheers. Well, you can't talk about football. Well, I can't talk about football without a beer. And I think people make this mistake too often. And I think what's ruined it for many people is the pub arguments. Because, and I'm not going to be sexist here, but I'm going to mention there is a difference between lady pundits and male pundits, women and men pundits. And the difference is that women's involvement in the game is more recent, normally post-Google. So you women are used to talking about football in a rational, sensible way. They make good, concise points relevant to the game. That's how they've been brought up with football. That's why when you have a woman pundit on Match of the Day, they will split. There'll be two guys arguing and she'll say, yeah, but what about so-and-so? And they'll go, oh, yeah, she's right. Well, you see, what they are missing out on is pre-Google was the pub argument. It's every person's right to drink beer and talk nonsense about football. And now what happens is you get two arguments, both ridiculous points of view, and there's a bloke at the end of the table, Googles it, and he goes, no, actually, it was Charlie George. They go, oh, really? And it spoiled the argument. So listen, I am going to do something in favour of all the men football fans. Today, I'm going to up the bar for talking absolute nonsense about football.
Excellent.
Women, I hope you're watching because this is what you do, right?
You've come to the right podcast for talking nonsense, trust me. So, beginning with Doctor and the Medics. So where did the name come from?
Right. Well, the name was the first thing that came into my head. I was DJing as the Doctor in the early 80s in a club. We had our own club. In fact, we had our own little bubble. And this is relevant to football as it gets on. We created our own club. We created our own little scene, the kind of neo-psychedelic scene. We started to tour and to get into clubs and what have you. And then, it all kind of bubbled along nicely. We started in 82. When I decided to form a band, from being a DJ, I was the Doctor, so we just said Doctor and the Medics. It's not important. It's only going to last a couple of weeks. There would be 40 years next year with that name.
Fair play, and it's memorable. It's that's what it's all about, and it's been a memorable name that people don't forget. If I said to anybody now, name me what a Doctor and Medics song, they're going to come back with one. So
yeah,
it's worked.
There we are, and we know which one.
Well, yeah, and which leads me beautifully onto. It's almost like you read my notes. So let me take you back to 1986. At a time, the charts used to be on a Sunday. We all used to sit there with our tape recorders and try and record the song without the talking beforehand. People used to have to get off their arses to go and buy a record. You couldn't just click a button on your phone. So when you got that #1 hit with Spirit in the Sky, knowing that people had gone out, bought your record, how did that feel? I mean, tell me how that felt. I mean, it must have been amazing.
Well, yeah, you're right. I ask this question to people now, and you may know the answer. No charts right now.
Oh, I haven't got a clue.
No. Again, But back then, everyone knew, you know, just literally every person in the country knew what, that on a Monday morning, everyone would know what the number one was. And it was a massive thing. So when you became number one, that was, you know, you realized, oh, blimey, this is a bit serious, because we were a bunch of idiots having a laugh. And we still are. We still are. The whole ethos of the band is, look, the minute we stop enjoying it, let's stop doing it. So for us, the fact that we got a gig, then the fact that someone else wanted to book us, then the fact that we got a tour, and then the fact that we got a record deal, and then the fact that we had an indie number one, we were just flabbergasted. All we were doing was being ourselves and doing our thing. And then when we got to number one, we just said, look, are we on candid camera or something? This is getting bloody ridiculous now. You know, what next? Well, there wasn't another number one. So there we are. We kind of found our level. But yeah, so it was. And I think at the time, because literally our life, as I say, the similarity to being in a band at that time, when you were touring all the time, we didn't get any money from royalties or records. All our money came from, you did almost 300 gigs. And I say there's a similarity between being in prison and being in a band. And the difference is you don't have to clean your sheets because you're living in hotels. You get fed every morning. You get fed every night. I loved touring. Now, I've never been in prison. I don't want to try it. But you see what I mean? You had no responsibilities. Yeah. You could, as long as you managed to get into the van or someone carry you in the van in the morning, you could recover. Someone would give you food, someone would give you drink, a place to sleep, somewhere to shower, and then all you had to do was that stage for an hour, 2 hours, or whatever was your home. So when we were number one at the time, we were still gigging and touring. So and we had tours booked before we were number one. So for example, we played the Stars and Stripes Club in Carlisle. And it was a 200 capacity venue, but it was booked before we were number one, and we turned up and there were like 2,000 people outside this club. So it really was a brilliant time. But I will say that now, you know, as the years have gone, to us, it was a pop song. We were number one, having a laugh. But now as the years have gone by, people come up to me at gigs and tell me what that song means to them. They've had it played at a funeral quite often. My dad had it played at his. You know, you begin to realise, oh, hold on, you know, this song has had more legs than just 3 minutes and 40 seconds of pure pop genius. No, you realise, and obviously we respect that, and I humble it, and I know it means a lot to people, you know. And then people have contacted me through lockdown and say that this song, you know, it kind of, because to me it's the good, it's about the good that comes after the bad. Yeah. So yeah, it has been something very special through my life. I never underestimate the value of it at all.
Well, that's good, because I'm only speaking off the top of my head here, but you would think, you know, all these years on, that maybe you'd be like, oh, I don't want to play that again. Can I not play something different? People keep talking about it, whether you get bored of it. Yeah,
and you've raised a very. I remember seeing. I won't name him because he's not with us anymore to defend himself. God bless. But you go and see bands, and on one great occasion, this band's big hit. And the singer just said, yeah, and if you want to hear so-and-so, you can fuck off. And it was his hit. And I thought, I'm never going to be that. I'm never, ever going to do that. And not only do we, if you don't enjoy singing on a stage and performing, then you shouldn't be given a microphone. If you don't enjoy singing a song that was number one in so many countries, means so much to so many people, then, you know, you shouldn't even be allowed near a venue. So to me, it's a privilege, that song. And you know, and the years kind of make it better. And the other thing is, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for. So I think every time I do it now, I just appreciate it a bit more, because yeah.
Oh, no, respect to that. It's fast forward into 2021, where we are now, and obviously lockdown means you haven't been able to perform now for some time. How much are you missing performing and doing gigs and festivals and the like?
Well, you know, in the old-fashioned zoos where you had the tigers pacing up and down the cage, because that's all I felt a bit like that tiger this year. You know, I was in danger of becoming a bit institutionalized, because this little room we're in now, this has been my world for a year. But I think, like everyone, I mean, on a serious note, we all had a massive dip, didn't we?
Yeah.
We all went down, and it was very hard to take, because I had the 2020 was set to be our busiest year for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And this was kind of like, for all the, our career has been like a bomber coming out of the dive, and this was the time of brilliant. And of course, to watch it all go within a week, it was, bloody hell. I was just like, I was like a zombie. I was in a terrible state. But you put the pieces together, and I got myself firstly to write a show called The Doctor Will See You Now, which is going to be coming out. In fact, I'm starting to put my dates on the website now, and that's a socially distanced show. But beyond social distancing, it's now also going into the theatres. So it's me talking about this ridiculous band. Shouldn't have existed, should never have had a number one, and certainly shouldn't still be going today. So quick message to all the people who've told me that I shouldn't do it and that I won't last 5 minutes. Quick message. That's kind of what the show's about. It's my story, and it's got music in it and what have you. So I wrote that show, which was great, and we actually did a couple. Do you remember in that little dip in lockdown?
Yeah, where you were allowed to do a few bits.
We did a couple. It was great fun. I just loved it, and I can't wait to do it again. And we've also had a chance. We're finishing an album. So because I've had constructive things to and creative things to do, and because I latched onto that quite early on, I've kind of, now I'm getting to the stage where, do you know what? I want a gig, but I'm not going to gig until we can do, and it's safe to do so. And I'm someone who absolutely believes we're doing the right thing, and I know it's hard, and I know people are suffering, but I will not play again until it's safe to do so. So we're fingers crossed, because we're putting in gigs this year. One is still on the books as early as the 30th of May. It's an outdoor event.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but other events, late June, early July, we're organising them now. We're doing the logistics, so everything crossed, we'll be out there.
Yeah, well, I've got a ticket for a gig in July to see the DMAs in Leeds, so I'm literally like that at the moment.
No, we all are. But you know what? If it goes back a month, we've got to just say, well,
exactly.
Come this far, let's nail this and get back to gigs and stadiums.
Yeah, not wrong. And talking, obviously we'll come on to your love of Liverpool Football Club shortly, but so obviously your song, a certain football club that don't particularly like Liverpool and Liverpool don't particularly like, decided to take your song and adapt it for one of their own. So how did it feel seeing the Manchester United fans singing about Georgie Best to your song?
Brilliant, actually, brilliant. I was so chuffed. In fact, when we did a gig near Manchester, when it was, I haven't heard it so much now, because I think word might have gone out that, hang on, he's from Liverpool. Well, no, the fact that Man United fans were singing the song from a Liverpool, perfect, I loved it. But you know what, team loyalties, forget that. At the end of the day, I was honoured because it was for George Best.
Yeah.
And, bloody hell, they're singing my song for George Best. That's, whoa, hang on. If you're going to have a song about any footballer, come on.
It's not bad, is
it? No. Actually, Man United fans, joking aside, thank you. I was flattered. Very flattered.
And as a Leeds fan who dislikes Man United, I have to say it was a brilliant adaptation of the song as well.
Absolutely. People sing it when I'm on stage, when we're singing Spirit in the Sky, and they say, "Would you get offended?" I said, "No, it's a gig. That's what it's about. It's fantastic. Yeah, not at all." Yeah.
So moving on to your love of football, then, a big Liverpool fan, for what I understand. So obviously, last season you finally clinched the Premier League title. You've been waiting for so long.
World champions.
Like myself as a Leeds fan, we weren't there to celebrate it in the grounds, what we finally did. But how did it feel for you winning that league title after all this time and having to be sat in your front room watching it sort of unfold?
Well, the truth is, living where I am and what have you, I very unlikely would have, I wouldn't have got. We were due to go and see. The last time I went to see them was at 2019, Crystal Palace at Anfield, 4-3. Well, I mean, if you're going to go to one game a year, come on. It was a hell of a game. But we were due to go to the same fixture because my brother's son supports Crystal Palace. We've still got a lot of family in Liverpool. And once a year, we like to go and get the ticket. We get the tickets, great seats and everything. And we were due to go and it was lockdown. And I just think we could have seen them in the season where they won the chat. We could have been there, you know, during that season, and I'm gutted that we didn't. But yeah, no, it was a very strange experience. But you know, at the end of the day, I was probably like I spent a good 2 days on the internet trawling through, talking to people, and yeah, as much as you can celebrate on the internet, I celebrated.
Yeah, and I think you just adapted, didn't you? I mean, you got drunk in your own home. You watched videos all over Twitter, and
well, I'll tell you something. Football does, right? Was when we won the Champions League, when we came back from 3-0 down after, right? Everybody knew my son was 16 at the time, and everybody knew, you know, to stay out. And 3-0 down at half time, and I'm kicking the cat. Now, I'm not animal lovers. I'm not kicking the cat, right? But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then my son came down, and as he began to say, "Dad," I said, "Shut up, sit down, watch the game, and shut up." And he went 3-2, and it was the penalty.
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, we've come back from 3-0." He went, "What?" I said, anyway, watch it. Oh, and then we literally watched with the odd cheer and this, that, and the other. And then when Ducek saved the penalty at the end, my son and I jumped up. And I mean, if it was in slow motion, it would have been like two swans in a ballet, met in midair, and literally for a minute held on to each other and just bounced around the lounge like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. That's what football does to you. And I suppose I missed that moment when we won, because it was just me.
Yeah,
I was still bouncing, but you missed that, don't you? That unity.
100%. I mean, both my lads are Leeds fans, and sadly on the night when we actually did it, they were at their house, I was at mine, and you know, we went on FaceTime, and we, you know, and watching them celebrate just choked me up completely. But what I wanted to do was just be there, hugging them, holding them, and jumping around like lunatics, celebrating the fact that we'd done it. But so highest high following Liverpool,
I think was the Champions League when we came back.
3-0.
Yeah. I think for me, absolutely. I mean, I think watching. I mean, because it's fresh in the memory, eating Barcelona at Anfield, and just to see Messi and everybody, Barcelona players slumping. That's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think, and also of course the Champions League. But I think moment. To me was just was something off the scale. To come back from 3-0 down was
I think people as well forget about that game is not only the fact they came from 3-0 down. Look at that Milan team that they had out that day. It was just incredible. And if any Liverpool or any fan watched that first half again, you would never ever have said they were coming back, because it could have been 5, 6, 7 at half time, couldn't it? In all honesty, they were so dominant.
But I tell you what, when the teams came out for the second half, you looked at them and they looked like they'd won it.
Mm.
They were joking and laughing. And you just looked at the Liverpool players, and whatever had been said in the dressing room, or whatever you said, you just looked at them and they had hate, they had anger, and I thought, whoa, you know, and when that half started, the second half started, you could see they want to. Hang on. They want to get a goal here, and I literally thought that's it. I thought they're not going to go down. They certainly don't want to concede another, but they're playing, and I think that, God, was it 5-6 minutes or so where they got the 3 goals, just went bang bang penalty, and I think that just. Well, like everyone, I was speechless. But when they came on for the second half, I thought, hold on, they've got something about them here. They've been told, you cannot do this. You can't let the fans down. You can't let the club down. And did they? And I mean, I think Gerrard was a captain that day as well.
A sensational turnaround, wasn't it? It has to be said.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of either ors for you. So you can only pick one of the two. So win the league next season, but you don't win it again for the next 20 years.
Right.
Or win the Champions League this season, but you don't win the Champions League for the next 20 years.
Easy. Champions League this season, because then we qualify for the Champions League next season, which means we get good players and we'll win the league every year after that. So
loving the confidence. Keep Klopp for another 5 years, but you lose Virgil in the summer. Or keep Virgil for 5 years, but you lose Klopp in the summer.
I would keep Klopp. I would keep
Yeah.
Klopp. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think what he's done. We can't. I know they're going through a bad stage or what, and what have you, and we are struggling without Van Dijk. But at the end of the day, he's gonna get. I think the Klopp era has got more. I think the Klopp era has got more to the story to be told yet.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's not had a bad start to his era, has he? In all fairness.
No, and when you look at, defending the title is difficult. It's always been said it's difficult. And defending the title when you lose the injury list that we've had. I mean, I know I can't go on too long about it, but I think Klopp's plan A was brilliant, unbeatable. But when the players went, he was trying to fit the players to the plan. And I think that's kind of where we've lost our way a bit, because without when your plan A is that good, I don't think we've been able to come up with a good plan B. But I think I think that's where he's faltered. But do you know what? We forgive him that, and we'll see what I think. There's another good bit of the story to come. Yeah.
I think next season it'll be interesting, because obviously next season, fingers crossed, the fans will be back as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out next year.
I think Liverpool have suffered from not having fans at Anfield. That home advantage, the 11th man, etc., etc. I think Liverpool have definitely suffered from that, lack of having the fans in the ground. Definitely.
Yeah. So this leads us very nice on to one more either or. Sorry, Messi or Ronaldo?
You mean who's the best player?
Yeah.
This has been going on, hasn't it, for a little while. I would say Messi, on the basis, and I did say I was going to talk nonsense, and in fact, I'm going to have some more beer here. Messi on the basis that he's never played for Man United.
That's good enough for me. We'll take that. I'll just tick that one off. So that just leaves your five-a-side team, my friend. So as you know, the only rules are you have to have seen them play live. One goalie, one defender, two midfielders, one striker. So let's go with your goalkeeper. Right.
The goalkeeper is very underrated, I think, in history, is Ray Clemence, who I saw. I saw Arsenal, Liverpool. My parents took me there. I think it was 1973. I did look it up. We won 2-0. By the way, I've never been to a live game where Liverpool have lost. I've only ever seen draws or wins live. Now, if anyone's watching from Liverpool, you know what I'm saying. I can land a helicopter out the back here. If you just want to bring me to every game in future, just saying. Just get in touch. So Clemence in goal.
Yeah, no, and famously never wore gloves in goal either. Always bare hands.
No, and I think a very underestimated guy, and of course was involved in football, including the England setup, wasn't he, for a while?
Yeah.
I think, that's a bit of reverence for him as well. I think, and just so that people remember how good he was. Yeah. I was thinking of him or Alisson, but Alisson's not at the moment. I think he's having a bit of a blip, but I think, we'll go with Ray.
Okay, so we'll go for your defender,
Van Dijk.
You're not the first. I'm sure you won't be the last.
No, he's the perfect. I watch him with all. I mean, it's not what he does when he's going in for the tackles. He's so clever where he puts himself when they're running back. He cuts defenders' angles. He's the perfect defender.
Yeah, no, he's a colossus as well. I mean, he's a specimen of a man, isn't he? He really is. He's just, he's a giant of a man. Yeah. So the first of your midfielders,
Gerrard. Come on.
Again, you're not the first. I'm sure you won't be the last. So for Stevie G, so obviously we always had that argument with the England squad, whether it's be Gerrard or Lampard.
Well, my second midfielder here, I've crossed his name out. It says here, look, it says Lampard there, right? Because I was thinking, well, five-a-side, hold on. If you had Gerrard and Lampard, that would work. It's worth a gamble, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But they never did click. And I just don't think there was a lot of empathy between them. And I think you kind of need that in a team. But no, I was thinking of having Lampard as my second one, but I've gone for Barnes.
John Barnes.
Yeah. Now, the reason is he was never fast, even when he was fit.
Yeah.
But he was one of those could get the ball in the middle and could fire passes off and just do that little bit. And there at five-a-side, I think that was so I've picked him as a five-a-side player.
I see you've gone full coaching on us as well. This is impressive.
Well, you're talking to the man, right? Who me and my guitarist, when we drive, we were playing Football Manager for months, and we started off in whatever league you do, and we were bordering on the Premier League, and then Dan got bored, and he worked out, and I've forgotten the I'll have to stick this on the thing, but he found out that we could buy Messi as a coach or something, and get him a players thing. And I said, Dan, he said, yes, we can. I've just done it. And the next day, the whole thing crashed because he tried to get, try and buy Messi as a cleaner and get him to play or something, so it crashed. So my football management skill.
Oh dear, brilliant. So obviously at Liverpool over the years, you've had a number of top strikers.
Yeah.
Which one have you gone for?
I had a choice, and I was either going to go for Mane because I rate him as the best striker. I think in Liverpool, and I thought five-a-side, he's got that agility and bits to move. If I'm going to change my mind, and I'm going to go for Mane, I think on a five-a-side pitch he would do it because the other one was obviously Fowler.
Yeah.
So no, but I'm going to go with Mane because I think that I can see him being hell to play against on a five-a-side pitch.
I think you're probably right.
and I'm going to add another player as a reserve, David Fairclough.
David, there's your super sub.
Yeah.
Now, see, for the youngsters watching, it'll be like just go and Google David Fairclough on YouTube. And a man who hardly, every time he started, he never scored, did he? But whenever he was sub, incredible.
Yep. I think we had two super subs really. We had him and then Ronnie Rosenthal, didn't we? Yeah. But I think with David Fairclough, I think they coined the phrase super sub, didn't they?
I think he was the first one, wasn't he?
The first super sub, yeah.
But
great player.
So we got Clements, Virgil van Dijk, Gerrard Barnes, and Sadio Mane.
There we are.
There we go. It's going to take some beating, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, you see, when the rules are that I had to name someone I'd seen live, well, obviously I don't go to that many live games.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be very Liverpool heavy. So I'm obviously at quite an advantage.
Absolutely fine. That's what it's all about. It's all about you put on whoever you want to put on.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
Honestly, this has been absolutely great. I've loved this. It's been so much fun. And I'm sure the people watching at home will have enjoyed it as well. So realistically, all being well, where will people be able to see you in the summer if it all goes to plan?
Well, all over the place. I mean, to be honest, the first weekend, we're looking at playing Kidderminster, Springhill up in Scotland, going as soon as we can get out there. If anyone just wants to, I mean, people used to say, where's the website? Well, you just go Doctor and the Medics and there we are. But look for us on Facebook is the main one where I'm keeping everything up to date. And starting this weekend, just gone, working our way through. I'm just slowly working through the date sheets and sticking dates up there. So if people want to know, get on there and they can see as the dates come through or go to the website where the dates are there getting updated. But as everything's developing, I'm just trying to keep a roll going and letting people know where and when. All I want to say is, like football and music, we're bound by one thing, and that is that when we all get together, when you are united in anything, when you bring people together from diverse cultures, places, whatever, we all break down that paranoia and we all talk and we all realize that we're all not bad people and we all come away happy and those ripples of happiness are needed. So please support, I know you're going to support football anyway, but please support live music and venues, everyone, because the industry needs it. And don't worry, we will give it to you back 10 times aplenty. So please come and see us, or if not us, any band you can. Let's get out there and get it live again. Thank you.
Wonderful message. And to be honest with you, that's partly the reason why I'm getting musicians on here. It's a chance to promote yourselves and shout about your bands and everything. I've had loads of bands on here they're literally in the early stages of their career. They've just set out 6 months ago because it's just a platform. I don't get millions of people watching this, but if one person goes to watch the gig off the back of this,
you know what? Exactly. That's my philosophy. And and good luck with this. I've had a look at a few of your episodes, so good luck at it. Keep it up, and
thank you very much.
Yeah, good luck for the future. I will watch you grow and grow.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for the positivity. Yeah, genuinely, if you can't smile after sitting watching the doctor for half an hour, when can you smile? Thank you so much for your time, much appreciated. And after this little interview, there will be a video clip of Doctor and the Medics, of course, performing Spirit in the Sky. And back to the show.
To the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best.
Going on up to the spirit in the sky. Oh, sorry, you just caught me and Ted out. So there you go. The Doctor from Doctor and the Medics, no less. What an absolutely top man, and it was an absolute pleasure to have him on. Next week, I'm delighted to say we're going the other end of the scale. So there's a band who hit the peak of the charts in 1986. We've got a Scottish band, new band on the scene called Dictator. They've got a single at the moment which is absolutely wicked. They are coming on. There's two of them coming on next week, so we're going to have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a chat, and you've got that to look forward to next week. So that's Dictator. Get looking on your Spotify now for their song as well. So anyway, Ted, it's time to guess how old our friend Mr. Bergomi was. So remember, all you have to do, if you're new, is guess how old Giuseppe Bergomi was when this photo was taken. So let's see what the public think first, Ted, because you went first last week. So let's see what they got to say. So Bill from Real, no, he's not 24, sorry. I know you thought you had it right, but I'm sorry, you're wrong. Kate from Margate, he's not 26 either. I'm sorry, it's very disappointing. You're quite a way out. So Ted, how old is young Giuseppe? Come on, tell the people. Well, I think it's a trick and you're trying to catch us out. I'm too smart for this, so easy peasy, 21. Ted, did you just say easy peasy? I know we had the Doctor and the Medics on from 1986, but easy peasy. Yep, easy peasy. I'm bringing it back, retro. Okay, fantastic. Anyway, Giuseppe Bergomi, when that photo was taken, let me just tell you how old he was. 18. Yes, he was a mere teenager. 18 years old. 18, do you know what, Reedy? You can stick this game where the sun don't shine. I'm going to come on for another part of the show next week. This is rubbish. Oh, I think we've upset Ted. He's not a very good loser. It's a shit part of the show. Sorry. So he was 18, Giuseppe Bergomi. So come back next week. We'll have another case of how old for you to guess. I'll try and make it a little bit easier. Might even throw a proper trick one in next week just for the laugh. But Giuseppe, if you got Giuseppe Bergomi as being 18 in that picture, credit to you. You win an award. I don't know what the award is. I've got nothing. So you just win an award. Here you go. There's your award. Anyway, so the Lineal European Cups, they take a break this weekend, so it's international break. So we're not going to harp on. We'll come back to those next week and let you know how those are going. But so straight into... guess v knowledge. So, guess v knowledge. So last week I went very big and I went very bold. I told you to get your money on Southampton winning 3-1 at Bournemouth. I was close, wasn't I? I wasn't far off. So Southampton won 3-0. So I was one goal away from starting the comeback. But as it was, we both went for a Southampton win. So it's now guess 16, knowledge 11. So this week I decided to mix it right up. So I took a screenshot of today's fixtures. I sent them to Guess and said, pick the game. So she had the League One games to pick. She went for Wimbledon v Northampton. So I decided to ask her why she went for Wimbledon Northampton. And she said, I was drawn to it. I think it's because of the tennis. It was one of the only ones she knew, but don't tell her that. Anyway, so she then was very quick with her guess for the result. She's gone for Northampton, travelling to Wimbledon and winning 1-0. So it's a brave shout, but it's possible. And judging by my record, I've said more than likely what I'm about to say. Anyway, so I got a quick look at the form. So Wimbledon have drawn their last 3 games against some of the better sides and some of the poorer sides. Bit of a mix, really. They had a decent draw with Charlton last week. Northampton won their last game. They beat an in-form Oxford side, which was a bit of a surprise, it has to be said. Although there is always a little bit of needle between those two. I'm really torn with this one. Really torn. It's such a close one to call. They're both down by the bottom, desperate for points to getting away from relegation. I've swung one way to the other. I was so tempted to go for the draw and really sit on the fence, but I think that the Dons are going to have a little bit too much. Both sides concede goals, so I think there will be goals. I think if you're doing a both teams to score coupon, this would be one I'll be looking at sticking on. That means it'll be 0-0, guaranteed. But I'm going to go for Wimbledon to win 2-1. I'm going to look for a bit of Laurie Sanchez spirit in there. There's one from the 80s for you as well, just for all you 80s fans out there. I'm going Wimbledon 2, Northampton 1. Guess has gone Wimbledon 0, Northampton 1. Completely opposite end of the scale. A chance to either reduce the lead or fall further behind. We shall see how it goes. So people, that is it for another week. I hope you've enjoyed the show. As always, if you did like it, give me one of those little thumbs up, because it massages my ballad and my ego, which is, as you know, is what I like. If you haven't subscribed already, please click the subscribe down below, because the more subscribers we can get, the better. I don't earn money off of this. I've told you this many times. If I was using this for a living, I would not be eating. I would be a hungry man. So it's all for a bit of fun, but it's nice to see the subscriber numbers building all the same. And as always, next stop on the BTFM bus is next Saturday, the 3rd of April. It'll be an Easter spectacular. I say spectacular. It'll probably be just me eating a cream egg. That'll be about as Easter and spectacular as it gets. In fact, we might do that, a little challenge to see how quickly I can eat a cream egg, just for the laugh. So, as always, ding ding, next stop, Saturday, April the 3rd, all aboard the BTFM bus. See you next week. And as always, guys, please, we're nearly there now, come on. Stay safe and see you all next week.